News.
Well, cloudy skies and 67 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Lead levels in Flint's water supply are increasing. According to data from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and lead in the water have gone up for a third consecutive time, though regulators are quick to point out those levels are still well below the federal action limit for lead in water. Currently, the amount is increased to 10 parts per billion or less, up from 3 parts per billion at the first part of last year and 7 parts per billion in the second half of last year. The federal limit is 15 parts per billion, putting the current level 33% lower than the federal action level. The water was tested using Michigan's stricter rules enacted in the wake of the Flint water crisis. Eagle representatives say different properties of the water are tested, and samples are taken from the fifth liter of accounts for some of the increases. More than 22,000 homes have had their lead service lines replaced with copper lines since the crisis. The Midland Area Community Foundation is partnering with Midland County to grant $600,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funds to local nonprofits. Application requests between $100,000 and $150,000 are being accepted through October 15th. They're looking for proposals that include collaboration between nonprofits and diverse sectors in Midland County. Applications are being considered based on guidelines set forth by the State Budget Office's ARPA priorities. Nonprofits can visit the Midland Area Community for information. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
All roads lead to the 67th Annual Munger Potato Festival, July 28th through the 31st. Enjoy carnival rides, food tent, games, famous potato bratwurst, and of course, plenty of free potatoes and great music. On Thursday, the festival queen will be chosen at 7, and it's the rear-wheel drive figure 8 and front-wheel demo derby. Gates open at 5, racing starts at 7. In the entertainment tent, it's Todd and Pete Unplugged, followed by Billy Gunther and the Midwest Riders, with free admittance to the entertainment tent with Derby Pass. Friday is Andrew Braun, Waylon Hannell, followed by the Family Tradition Band, plus the front-wheel drive Demo Derby. Saturday is Kids Day with the 5K Spud Run sponsored by the Frankenmuth Credit Union. Magician Cameron Zavara at noon. Bicycle drawing and more. Music in the entertainment tent features Rebel Line, followed by the Sinclairs. Saturday also features the Power Wheel Figure 8, front and rear wheel drive Figure 8, and the front wheel drive Team Demo Derby. Returning this year is the Cornhole Tournament Saturday at 2. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Munger Potato Festival. Details at mungerpotatofest.com.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Alpena County Commissioners have approved the sale of the former jail property to Alpena Mark Company. Will pay the county $229,000 for the property and turn it into a food and beverage park. Plans call for 3 portable drive-through buildings housing a Big B Coffee, Quiznos, and Taco Del Mar. Commissioners chose this proposal over one from My Michigan Health. Strong winds and a steel door led to a man's death in Grand Rapids. Here's Michigan News Network's Jim Matthews.
Firefighters say a man died after being struck by a steel door during the storm Saturday night. They say the accident happened about 10 p.m. at the Sandy Point Beach House restaurant. Officials say that when first responders arrived, they faced a traumatic injury. Lieutenant Bill Smith says a large hinged door on a shipping container in the outside bar area of the restaurant struck the man. Police have not released the man's name. That night, the National Weather Service reported winds gusting as high as 49 miles per hour. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
After a disappointing first quarter at GM, we get Ford's profit report later today. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Ford didn't face as many of the supply chain issues in the second quarter as GM did, so its numbers should be solid. Overshadowing today's financial report, however, will be reports that Ford is going to cut as many as 8,000 salaried workers. It has told workers to keep focusing on the task at hand.
Gilbert will be covering the Ford earnings report that comes out a little after 4 this afternoon. More people are opting not to have children. A study from Michigan State University finds more adults in the state want to be child-free. Jennifer Watling-Neal is a researcher and associate professor in psychology at the university, and they're making that decision in early life. Watling-Neal says women who decided in their teens to be child-free are now on average nearly 40 and still don't have any children. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Partly sunny for today. A few showers and storms are possible in the area. Highs will top out near 84 degrees. Winds south-southwesterly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Higher gusts possible. Tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear. Lows drop to 63. Winds west 5 to 15. Higher gusts remain possible. Thursday, mostly sunny. Chance for a few showers mainly through the early part of the afternoon. Highs head back to 84. Thursday night, mostly clear. Lows fall back to 58. And then Friday, sunny and highs reach 80. With the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 65.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, as they used to say in the old days, howdy! Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show. It's a Wednesday. And what we'll have this morning, open lines this first hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. I got a number of things to bring up. Second hour, we're going to start out talking to Pastor Larry Camel and Bobby DeLeon about Silence the Violence in Saginaw, parishioners on patrol. And at 11 o'clock on Focus, Mike Stoddard from West Side Decorating Center will join us. That is what is ahead this morning. Pulled a number of things to talk about. Again, you can, converse about whatever you would like to converse about by giving us a call at 989-752-6111. That's the number to call from anywhere. And we'd love to chat with you. Here are some of the headlines of things that I thought might be interesting to talk about this morning. Democrats have introduced a bill to enact term limits for Supreme Court justices. Talk about that. What would you do with $1 billion+ because the Mega Million goes on and it is now over $1 billion in the prize money? What do you need to know if you win? You need to know you're rich is what you need to know. The military, they have a problem. Nancy Pelosi wants to go to Taiwan. And of course, Chinese have issued all kinds of threats about it. And the military is making plans just in case the speaker travels to Taiwan. We'll talk about that. Here's good news if you have high blood pressure. Eat chocolate. You heard me. I was reading this article this morning. Headline is Why Chocolate Could Be Just as Good for the Heart as High Blood Pressure Medicine. And we've often heard dark chocolate, the more cacao, the better it is for you. There's been some polling done for pre-presidential races on the Democratic side. And the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, edged out Joe Biden among Democrats in New Hampshire. That is not good news for the president, to say the least. Lester Holt had an interview with the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who said no one is above the law. I have some questions about that. And a few other things to chat about. But those are on my palette of this morning, if you will. And if you have something you'd like to add to it, you can give us a call. So let's start with the first one I mentioned, and that was the Democrats introducing a bill to enact term limits on Supreme Court justices. And this would, what they say, is restore legitimacy and independence to the nation's highest court. In other words, if you're on the losing side of an argument, the court's illegitimate. Come on. It's called the Supreme Court Tenure Establishment and Retirement Modernization Act. Would authorize the president to nominate Supreme Court justices every 2 years in the first and third year after a presidential election. And I think this is actually, I'm not a constitutional lawyer, I'm only speaking from the standpoint of what I understand. It would actually be easier and more constitutional to adjust the number of members of the Supreme Court than to establish limits. Because if I read the Constitution right, and again, I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but it lays out the groundwork for the term of Supreme Court justices unless they do something wrong. So I would have to think you'd have to have a constitutional amendment to change the term of the justices, but you would not need one to extend the court. I don't favor either of them. I don't think we should monkey with the court just because you don't like the decisions. It's not the way it works. But that's what they're going to do. Errol's in Saginaw. Let's go to our first caller this morning. Good morning, Errol.
Good morning. You remember a TV show called The Millionaire?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I think it would be great to be able to do that for people that really need some money. I mean, you're not going to put it in the box with you.
Oh, you mean you take take your $1 billion and you take
Yep.
$1 million at a time and give it away?
Well, yeah. You would have someone, you got enough money, have someone find someone that's really, truly needy.
I like that. I like that.
Better feeling than
very
just sitting in the bank.
Yeah, it's very philanthropic. Well, I always thought,
now,
if you win that much money, I thought of it like partitions. If you win that much money, you take a partition, and behind that one partition is your investment money, which provides for your future. Behind the second partition money is maybe funds that you share with family. And behind the third partition would be what I call a fund, where that's money that you play with just for the fun of it. You want to buy a car, you buy it out of that money. You want to go on a cruise, you take it out of that money. And then there is another partition for charitable giving, different than the first partition. And then lastly, there's, of course, taxes, which has to be behind a partition. That's the way I've always looked at it, divide it up, so you're establishing some kind of a budget.
Well, I would agree. And I would do it in secret so they don't know where it comes from, because that would be more of a surprise and helpful to them.
I fully agree for a couple of reasons. It's unfortunate in Michigan anyway. If you win this prize, you have to reveal who you are. I would much rather be anonymous. Much rather be anonymous.
And to all my in-laws on Cape Breton Island, you're not betting a nickel. But anyways.
What about you? Wait, what about your friends in the media?
I don't have any.
Oh!
But for money, I got a question, but it's out closer to home. The city of Saginaw has got between $25 and $50 million that they were supposed to declare. I think they had a deadline as to what they're going to spend the money on.
Yeah, deadlines.
Have you heard one word of what they're going to do with that money?
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about it.
I can't get an answer.
There's been a lot of discussion about it. I don't know that they've finalized it yet, but there is.
But I thought that they had a deadline.
Well, it is. The deadline is the end. The deadline is the end of 2024. They had a long time.
Right, but I thought they had to make a declaration of what they were going to spend the money on a lot sooner than that.
No, I don't think so. But they've done it. They've done it in an interesting way. I mean, they have a citizens group and they have a committee looking at it and taking ideas, and then they're narrowing down the ideas. We'll talk to Tim Morales here in the near future. We'll get a better understanding. But they're working on it. It's not sitting there idle. They're working on it.
Yeah. And that I'll give you some money, but Ernie doesn't get a nickel.
Say what?
I said, I'll surprise you with some money, but Ernie's not getting nothing.
Ernie gets nothing. He won't like that. I'll tell him.
We'll talk to you later.
Take care, Earl. Bye now.
Bye.
That's an interesting idea, though. Anonymous charitable giving. If you had $1 billion, and it's 1.02 billion right now, that's going to go up with ticket sales. I mean, it's almost obscene. Well, it is obscene. For years, a lot of people have talked about the fact that maybe the lotteries should, rather than have one big prize when it reaches a certain level, have $100 million winners rather than $1 billion winner. I have to disagree because I'm thinking of it from the sales standpoint. Let's face it, $1 billion draws a lot of people out that it wouldn't necessarily otherwise. The downside of that is probably a lot of people that maybe shouldn't be spending that money on the hopes of getting rich. You know, they always said buying a lottery ticket is not a good retirement plan. So what would you do if you had $1 billion with a B dollars? And by the way, if you take the one lump, it would be 602 million, something like that. And then you have taxes to deal with. You'd probably end up with just over 300 million net tax-free after you've paid the taxes and everything. If you take the annuity payout, it's a 30-year payout. There would be an initial payment, and then every year there would be another payment, which increases by 5% per year. So you can figure it out for yourself how much that is. But you would get that way you would end up with the full $1 billion. You'd also pay more in taxes because you're going to pay taxes on the full $1 billion in the long term. And no matter how you do it, it's going to throw you in the highest tax bracket. So you're not going to get away with that. First thing you do, though, if you were to wake up and find out you just won the $1 billion before you told anyone, before you did anything, before you called the Lottery Bureau, you go find yourself a tax lawyer, a tax accountant, a financial advisor. You put together a team that will then put together a plan so that you don't make any mistakes and you're well set for the future. That'd be first before I did anything. Anyhow, we dream on. Fun to dream about. Less likely that it's actually going to happen. And what's the odds are 1 in 300 some odd million or some, I forgot what it is now, but it's not very good. Let's put it that way. But it's fun to spend a couple of bucks. If you have a couple of bucks that you can spend without jeopardizing anything, then fine. Go for it. Be part of the game. All right, we're going to take a break and be back. Lines open for you, whatever was on your mind. We'd love to chat with you.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Did you know that Masterforce has thousands of tools at Menards? Any tool you want, we have. There are hammers, drills, pliers, levels, wrenches, grinders, sanders, air compressors, nailers, workbenches, mowers, blowers, chainsaws, floor jacks, knee pads, work lights, fans. And that's just a taste. Want power, performance, durability? Come check out the wide range of products from Masterforce, exclusively at Menards.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for edible arrangements in Saginaw. You are going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or just because, Edible Arrangements in Saginaw has you covered. They have smoothies, fruit salads, their dipped fruit, by the piece, cookies, and cheesecakes. Head to RocketGrabPlus. Snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Encouraging news on the economy. Durable goods orders rose 1.9% in June. Economists were expecting a decline. The numbers are not adjusted for inflation, so it may reflect higher prices paid. Investors are looking at tech companies holding up better than expected. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates later today to fight inflation. Google's parent company Alphabet and Microsoft saw weaker growth in the recent quarter, though Microsoft expressed optimism about this year. Boeing lost money in its recent quarter, though CEO David Calhoun says the company made important progress across key programs in the quarter, and it's building momentum in its turnaround. Hilton Worldwide's recent quarter was dramatically better than forecast, and it's optimistic about coming. Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
Annette Glenn, working to restore voter trust. Annette Glenn voted to require a photo ID to vote. Take dead people off the rolls. Make it illegal to connect voting machines to the internet. Force the Secretary of State to obey state law. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Looking good, Mrs. Dubs.
The head groundskeeper at Thad's Golf Course just retired.
We need to find someone in the next 2 weeks. Someone with botany and management experience.
He needs a replacement because the greens are already looking a little rough.
Aeration. They need to know it all.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Line drive left field. This one's deep off the bat of Cabrera. Go! Number 506 in his career.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. Before we get back to the phones, I got an email from Richard, a listener. He said if he won $1 billion, he would do something really extravagant. He'd fill up his gas tank. All right, let's talk to Scott in Saginaw. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, yeah, good morning, Art. I got a comment question here. And so it starts off, back when Barack Obama was running for office, he used to make statements like, America has been at the top long enough. It's time another nation gets this honor. And as soon as Barack Obama got in office, he started saying, I inherited this mess. The Republicans drove the economy into the ditch. And he managed this recession the best he could.
Funny, we were on top. How did that happen?
And as soon as Trump gets in office, everything starts turning around. We start getting raises, businesses start coming back, borders start seeming to be more secure. And then Biden gets in office, and within weeks, not only are we back where Obama left us, we're actually worse off. Yeah. How is that?
Executive order.
Yeah,
you know the answer.
Well, I really wish they couldn't do that. Even like when Trump signed the executive order for the pipeline, I wish that had to go through Congress.
Well, I agree.
You can't just
I agree. But there are limitations on the executive orders, but they're still fluid enough that a president can do a lot of things.
A lot of damage.
Well, the damage and good. But the reality is they can't do budgetary things by executive order. But there's enough rules and regs that they can monkey up with and cause great havoc. And you're right. I mean, the border's a great example. The border's an ideal example. And, we're stuck with it. That I can't believe Mayorkas, is that his name? The border's secure.
Yeah.
The border's secure where? Canada? It's not secure here, that's for sure. It's not secure in the southern part of this country. Not when you see hundreds of migrants crossing the river, and we don't know how many thousands are in the country that didn't get caught. They
were estimating a quarter of a million.
I heard the numbers.
Got away.
I heard the numbers, but we still don't know. I mean, who knows what that number is?
Right,
I mean, if they know the number, then that means they must have counted those people. So,
I think it's an estimate.
Well, it's an estimate.
One,
yeah, one out of every so many get through. I understand that, but it's just, to me, it's just you cannot have a country if you do not have secure borders. Period.
No, I agree.
Period. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Gas prices. Yeah. You guys were talking about gas prices yesterday, and I think maybe, say you have gas station A and gas station B. Both of them buy their gas when the oil's selling for $100 a barrel. And then gas station A runs out of gas, so they get to buy new gas when it's selling at $98 a barrel.
Right.
Gas station B is still selling their gas that they bought at $100. That's why maybe there could be a discrepancy.
Well, there's always that. It's called, there's a price called the tipping price. When a distributor who takes the gas to the gas stations goes to fill up their trucks at the tipping plant where they put in the gas, that's the tipping cost. That's the cost of the wholesale cost of the gasoline to the supplier, who then takes it to the gas stations, who then put their markup on it and sell their gasoline. And every company is a little bit different. And it is not, for the owners of the gas stations, it's not really a high profit margin. It's more like a grocery store item where they make very little percentage. And that's why they all have convenience stores, because that's where they make their money,
Right, but we got to have a bad guy someplace. So I guess.
Well, I guess we got to have a bad. Yeah, pick one. All right, Scott. Hey, listen.
All right, thanks, Art.
Good conversation. Thanks a lot. Bye now. Saginaw Bay City 752-6111. I don't know why I say that. It's because I've been doing it for decades. It's not Saginaw Bay City. It's everybody. That's what I should say. Everybody. 989-752-6111. We chatted about the fact that the Democrats are trying to enact term limits on the Supreme Court. There was discussion of trying to expand the court to 13, but that has not been done. The House touted a bill to do it, but they never came forward with it. This one would limit the term, so it would no longer be for life. But as I said earlier, I wonder if that runs afoul of the Constitution. I would have to. I will have to get a friend of mine is a constitutional lawyer, retired, and I'll have to get him on here and chat about it and get his take on it, because that's what he studied the Constitution. That's his main degree was in constitutional law before going off and doing many other things. So it'd be interesting to see his take on it. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi for a minute. And I'm going to surprise you. I'm not going to knock Nancy Pelosi for this. She is planning, supposedly, a trip to Taiwan to show the U.S. support for that country, which of course is claimed by China as its territory. There is concern about her safety because that's one of the world's hottest spots. A mishap, a misunderstanding could endanger her safety and put the world at risk too, because, for example, what if China were to attack Nancy Pelosi's plane? That would be war. That would be war. So the Pentagon is developing plans for any contingency. Military will increase their presence in the Indo-Pacific region. They're not going to provide you any details. I mean, you don't tell your enemy what you're going to do. Most administrations, at least, don't tell their enemy what they're going to do. Anytime a U.S. senior leader like Pelosi, who's third in line for the presidency, requires lots of security, And Taiwan, because of its situation, would require even more. However, let's talk about this. Should Nancy Pelosi go to Taiwan? I actually like the idea because as third in line to the president and the Speaker of the House, you're sending a highly placed representative to support this country that Joe Biden has said, he'll support to the end. And there's a call between Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. They haven't talked in about 4 months now, and you can bet that this will be part of that conversation. Xi has also said that there would be repercussions if Pelosi went to Taiwan. And all of this is about, of course, China's claim on Taiwan that it's part of their country. And the Taiwanese, of course, would say, no, not so fast. We're independent. No comment from Chinese Foreign Ministry on the phone call coming up or what will be talked about. But I do not have a problem with Pelosi going to Taiwan, representing the United States to support that nation. All right. We had a caller wanted to report $3.75 gas in Gaylord when they went through Saturday and yesterday. All right. Gas is coming down. There's no doubt. The price is declining regularly and daily. Let's hope it keeps going. And we will take a break and then be back with more. And if you're buying gas, it means you have to have a car to put it in. Well, I want you to think about Thedland, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Bay City because they do have some new vehicles on the lot and a whole bunch more in the pipeline. And you owe it to yourself to go online to thinkthedland.com, and you can literally complete about 80% of the purchase online. You can even build your own car online. Thedland has new vehicles arriving all the time, and if one of them suits your needs, make sure your name is put on it. And don't forget, let's talk about pre-owned vehicles for a minute. Let's say you want to move up into a pre-owned vehicle, a later model than you're driving. Well, Thedland has all those dealerships side by side on North Euclid Avenue. So all of those dealerships and their used inventories make one big pot from you to choose from. One of the largest inventories of pre-owned vehicles in the region. So you can go there, you can look at the vehicles, you can sit down with the Thedland representative, you can make your deal, and you can drive away with it that day. That's how it works. Thedland Auto Group, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. You know that family, the Thedland family? They've been serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Stop in or visit them online. thinkthedland.com. Do it today.
Flock to Dow Diamond Saturday for Princess and Pirate Night, where you too can be royalty.
Shut up.
Or a scallywag.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
After the game, we'll light up the kingdom with a fireworks loontacular.
Hey, we saw fireworks.
Princess, are you okay? Powered by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast.
My God, you ate the princess.
Get yours now at loons.com. Princess and Pirate Night, Saturday at Dow Diamond.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Dive in. It's Loons baseball time.
I'm retired Army Colonel Martin Blank, and I'm a Republican running for the state Senate. I'm not a politician. I'm a soldier. And I'm running for the state Senate because Lansing career politicians are failing our families. Afford groceries. Gas is heading towards $6 a gallon, and many of our neighbors are struggling to pay their mortgages or rent. The economy no longer works for people like us, and Lansing career politicians are doing nothing about it. It's time for a change, to go in a new direction. We've had enough of Lansing career politicians and their broken promises. It's time to put state government back on your side. I'm proud of my military service, the 23 years I spent serving you and protecting your interests. And as your state senator, I'll protect your interests once again. This is Martin Blank, Republican candidate for state Senate. I ask for your vote. Thanks for listening.
Paid for by Martin Blank for state Senate.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, you're looking for the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll about monkeypox. So recently, the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global public health emergency. Over 16,000 cases have been documented globally. In the U.S., about 2,800 cases confirmed or suspected, and most cases concentrated within the gay community. But the WHO and the CDC say anyone can catch it. It can be transferred by contact of any body fluids, open sores, contaminated items, even through respiratory droplets, usually in a confined space.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you?
Concerned? 10. But is it have yeah.
So our poll question right now, what's your response to monkeypox? Are you very concerned with the chance? Are you not too concerned, but you're keeping updated in the news? Are you aware of it, but you're not paying attention? Or is it not on your radar? What do you say? You can say by voting in the WSW online poll, going to the WSW homepage, scrolling down and finding the online poll box.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, Kamala gave us her pronouns. Scott, what's yours?
Fed up and angry and...
Is that a pronoun? It is now.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom studios of WSGW.
I had to chuckle here. I had to chuckle because I read the note that the caller said they bought $3.75 gas in Gaylord this weekend. And I was sort of semi-celebrating that. And I stopped to think, what am I celebrating? Why am I celebrating gas at $3.75? Yeah, I know compared to $5, it's cheap. But still, compared to $2, it's expensive. And I started to think about it, and, you know, a lot of people will, you know, think there's something political going on or what have you. The reality is gasoline is a commodity, and the oil it's made from is a commodity on the commodity marketplace. So what drives commodity prices? Well, supply and demand drive commodity prices to a large degree, or speculation on what supply and demand will be, which is important to remember, because what's happening around the world? Inflation is happening around the world. So it costs a lot more to do things. So people are beginning to pull back and do less. The cost of goods, the shortages, all of those things lead to a reduced demand. Couple that in this country with the action of the Fed to raise interest rates to slow the economy. And by slow economy means you do less and you have less to do anything with. That all impacts the demand on fuel supplies. And consequently, when the demand or the speculation that the demand is going to go down, prices begin to lower. And I think that's what we're seeing. You know, I know the administration will probably claim, oh, well, we've released the oil reserves. Well, a lot of that went overseas. And besides that reduction, that release of the oil, 1 million barrels a day or whatever it was, maybe accounts for 2 cents, maybe 2 cents, 3 cents Not a lot. Not the kind of drops we've seen. I mean, just realize this: a month or two ago, we were paying over $5 a gallon. Now you can find it for $3.75 in some places. It's a big drop. That's a big drop. Not attributable to releasing the oil reserves. So take advantage of it when you find it. Who knows what tomorrow brings? I mean, it's all done on speculation. I would never invest in the commodities market. Way too complicated for me, and I don't invest in things I don't understand. And what drives prices up and down? I know the general principle of supply and demand, but I don't know the technical ins and outs that would allow me to keep ahead of the game. And yet, think about this. Farmers have to play that game every day because everything they grow is sold on the commodity market. When they harvest, when they contract for their harvest, all affects the price they receive for the product. So every day they have to gamble on what they think the market is going to do with their crops. It's not an easy thing to do. All right, a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to Gene in Saginaw Township. Gene, hang on, friend, and I'll get with you here. A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topic should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
The deals are hot during the annual summer sale, July 25th through the 30th at Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center in Midland. Save trees, shrubs, and perennials, all ready for summer planting. Save up to 50% on select discontinued styles of patio furniture and other garden accents. 50% off all remaining annuals, hanging baskets, and patio pots. 30% off all ceramic pottery. Hurry in for best selection as this sale is July 25th through the 30th only. Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, located 1.5 miles north of the Midland Mall on Eastman Road next to DW Auto in Midland. The deals are hot during the annual summer sale, July 25th through the 30th at Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center in Midland. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. Visit us on the web at www.maplehillmidland.com or like us on Facebook.
I'm Chris Velasquez. My favorite show was Dirty Jobs. It reminded me of growing up on the farm, working road construction, and night shifts at the potato chip factory. I've liked every job and learned from every experience. There are no non-essential jobs. The worst thing big government did the last 2 years was divide us by declaring who was essential and who was not. You have a right to provide for your family. As your state senator, my job is to protect that right and to bring even more opportunity to our communities.
Paid for by the committee to elect Christian Velasquez for state senate. People who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer. I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight. Even if symptoms feel mild, These factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW.
Hit pretty well. Pinder going back. Is it over? Make the catch. Coming in to score is Jamer Candelario, being waved around as well. And scoring is Javier Baez. It's a 2-run double for Robbie Grossman.
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth, Lingle Equipment Company. All season long, Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and let's talk to our buddy Gene in Saginaw Township. Gene, good morning.
This is not a very important topic. Actually, it's not even a topic, but I've been listening to you for all these years, and I just got to wondering recently, whatever became of our buddy Carl that always used to call in all the time, and of course, I usually agreed with him, and I don't hear him anymore.
I can tell you what happened. I mean, it's and you've probably then, if you'd listened, Gene, I know you do. You've heard me say that while I may disagree with him, as I disagree with you on a number of things.
Oh, sure.
I loved him dearly. He's a great guy, and I love you and Yoko like brother and sister. But Carl, you've heard me over the years say that when I go on vacation, I have to get away from it all, and I shut out the news. I don't do. I just get away from it. You have to take a break. So Carl called one day, 2 years ago, maybe, I don't know when it was, but he called up and he said, "You know how you say you take a break all the time?" I said, "Yep." He says, "Well, I've reached a point where I've got to take a break." And he did. That was it. And he's still breaking. I don't know if he's listening. I haven't talked to him. I haven't run across him. Sometimes I run across him, but I haven't run across him lately. So I don't know if he's even if he's still listening. But if he is, he's welcome to call anytime he wants. And, I have the greatest respect for him because I've met him on several occasions.
Oh, I
and
see.
And I really have great respect for Carl. I don't agree on a lot of things, but he's really a neat guy. He's a fabulous businessman. I mean, his family had a great business for many, many, many years in Saginaw.
I see. Yeah.
So, but that was it. He just took a break, and he's still breaking.
Well, I thought you might know, and I guess you do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He did it on the air. I mean, he didn't call me off air. He called on the air and said, "Well, I got to take a break." I said, "Okay." Listen, happens all the time. Audiences come and go. That's part of the game.
Well, we'll wait and see. Maybe he'll call again.
maybe he will. Absolutely. All right, Gene. So I have to ask you a question. I got to ask you. Don't hang up yet. You're not getting away that easy. What do you think of Joe Biden?
What do I think of Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Well, of course, I voted for Joe. I think he's doing about the best he can, but he's getting up there in years, and he's not as dynamic as I like a president to be, and so.
So let me ask you this.
I don't think he'll run for another term.
You anticipated my next question.
Yeah.
But if he did, but let's say there were Democratic contenders in a primary, would you still vote for him, or would you move to another contender? Let's say, for example, Kamala Harris runs, Buttigieg runs, Pete Buttigieg, who knows who else? I mean, there's a bunch of them out there that may come forward. Oh, Newsom.
Yeah. I think I'd still vote for him because I'm not keen on the vice president, and Buttigieg, I don't know. I haven't thought much about him.
All right. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to skip calls here because I see a Carl in Saginaw on the line. So hang up, Gene, and listen. Okay. Hey, guys, skip Hound Dog. We'll get back to Hound Dog. take Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, he lives.
Yes, Art, and it's been 6 months.
Is that
not
how long?
2
It's
years.
really, I lost track of time.
It was January 1st, and we got a new puppy, and it's still, the puppy is almost a full-time job still. in fact, I have a call into the vet right now because she's got stung in the face and her face is
ouch.
But Art, I have been listening. I listen when I can, and I'm hoping to maybe get back, maybe in September or something. I'll start calling back
Well,
in.
Carl, you know you're always welcome. We have what I call respectful disagreements, and I love chatting with you. I treasure your being in the audience, and I just had to say that when Gene was not the first one to ask over the last 6 months or so. There's been a number of callers say, "Whatever happened to Carl?" And I really
still watching the puppy. Still watching the puppy.
Well, I have another friend that just got a puppy, and he sent me a picture of the puppy taking all the toilet paper off the roll.
Oh yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah.
Good luck, friend.
Carl, I'll see you in a few weeks.
Well, good. All right. And I appreciate the fact you're still out there. Take care.
Still listening.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks
All
a
right,
lot.
thanks, Art.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hallelujah. How about that? All right, listen, Hound Dog, you have to call back next hour after we are done with our guests, because we're not going to get to you now. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Working in the steel industry, she saw the results of Governor Whitmer's policies. Businesses closed, jobs lost, families moving away. Biden's policies aren't helping either. Gas prices and inflation skyrocketing. Tudor Dixon will stand strong against policies that hurt Michigan and government overreach. A businesswoman, a mother, a breast cancer survivor. Fighting for Michigan, not working for Washington. Tudor Dixon for governor.
Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate. AmericansForProsperity.org.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing. I don't have any cravings. You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results. Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join seminar for only $49.99 Sunday, August 7th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Saginaw, 2 p.m. till 4 p.m. To register, go to markpatrickseminars.com.
In this election, look to the name you can trust for state representative, Bill G. Schuette. Working as a Defense Intelligence Agency officer, Bill G. Schuette joined the fight against terrorist and drug cartels. Now Bill G. Schuette is prepared to move mid-Michigan forward. He will fight Biden inflation and put money back in your wallet by cutting the income tax. Schuette backs the blue and will support our law enforcement. He will fight to ensure parents have a seat at the table in their children's education. Voting should be honest and easy, which is why Bill G. Schuette supports common sense photo ID requirements for elections. On August 2nd, vote for the conservative Republican you can trust, Bill G. Schuette.
I'm Bill G. Schuette, and this ad was paid for by Bill G. Schuette for state representative. I've briefed generals. I can stand up to Democrats in Lansing.
That'll do it for our first hour of the Art Lewis Show. News is next, and then we'll be back with more. Talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. American basketball star Brittany Griner is testifying in her own defense at a courtroom hopes of winning her freedom.
Griner was led into the courtroom with her wrists shackled, Russian security surrounding her. During her testimony, she recounted being pulled aside in Moscow after they discovered the cannabis oil in her bag. She says she wasn't given any explanation of her rights nor access to lawyers and was instructed to sign documents without knowing what they implied. Griner faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted of transporting drugs. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
2 former Minneapolis police officers will be sentenced today in George Floyd's death. Reporter Steve Simpson with our affiliate WCCO.
J. Alexander King and Total, along with their colleague Thomas Lane, were convicted in February in federal court in St. Paul. Lane was sentenced last week to 2.5 years behind bars. Today, prosecutors are asking for more than that for King and Tao, but less than the 22.5 years that Derek Chauvin received for kneeling on Floyd's neck.
CBS News confirms Justice Department investigators are zeroing in on Donald Trump and the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Correspondent Jeff Pegues is in Washington.
This DOJ investigation is different from the current congressional inquiry, which cannot result in a criminal prosecution, but committee members have supported a criminal probe into former President Trump.
Double vaccinated and boosted and wondering what you can do now to protect yourself from COVID? CBS News contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says there are new treatments in the works.
What we're getting in the fall is being updated for the Omicron BA.5 variant. The issue, though, is we know variants continue to emerge, the virus continues to mutate. So we don't know, even by this fall, BA.5 may not be the variant. We may have something else.
There's a state of emergency in effect in Missouri where torrential rain and historic flash flooding are blamed for at least one death. This woman and her family escaped from their home in University City.
We had to bust the window, climb through the road, climb the road, get out, and get on level because it was too much water.
Hundreds of people were trapped in their homes and cars. First responders used boats to rescue them. No one won all of those millions last night.
Our first winning number tonight is 29. That's followed by 63. Up next,
the jackpot for Friday's Mega Millions drawing is more than $1 billion now and counting. Odds of winning are still about 1 in 302 million. The Dow is up 159 points. S&P ahead 45. This is CBS News.
Find great hires fast with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You ever think about how the best stuff always comes last? Like dessert and championships and weekends. Why do we have to wait so long for the things we love? Is this a conspiracy? Farmers who use Sharpen herbicide as a harvest aid can skip to the best part of their season. The fastest dry down and desiccation means they get to a smooth harvest sooner. BASF, we create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
This is what camping sounds like when you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP. And this is what camping sounds like when you have Inspire and don't need a CPAP. If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, Inspire could work for you. Inspire works inside the body and keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit. We will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Rising 70 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Persha. 10 new ventilator units will soon be used by Covenant Healthcare for infants and young children. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dent.
The new Servo U ventilators are going into service with Covenant's neonatal and pediatric intensive care units. According to NICU respiratory therapist Sarah Nitz, the equipment's versatility will help to improve care for young patients. The new units feature neurally adjusted ventilatory assist, or NAVA, which uses a special sensor to detect signals from the brain and synchronize the machine's delivery of air to the patient's breathing. Covenant says that this technology helps prevent lung injury from air pressure and cuts the time a patient is on ventilation by nearly 35%. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
An invasive species could potentially harm Michigan's agricultural industry and natural resources, and the state is asking residents for help in reporting where it's found. First discovered in Pennsylvania in 2014, is a native insect to China, India, and Vietnam. The bug feeds on a wide variety of plants like fruits, hardwood trees, and hops. While the insect can't travel far on its own, it does lay eggs on just about any surface, including vehicles, camping gear, firewood, package shipments, and more. Infestations have occurred in 12 states throughout the Northeast and the Midwest. The spotted lanternfly is about an inch long. Their folded wings are gray to brown with black spots. Open wings reveal a yellow and black abdomen and bright red hind wings with black spots transitioning to black and white bands at the edge. Juveniles are wingless and black with white spots, developing red patches in their final stage. Egg masses look like old gray chewing gum. Anyone who sees the insect or egg mass should take photos or even collect a specimen and contact the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development at 1-800-292-3939. For more information, visit michigan.gov. Fly. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all of
Love to talk about the soybean bushels we helped them yield, but all we can talk about is the one bushel we didn't. You know, that one buried deep in the genetics we haven't extracted yet. We're going to find that bushel. Some might call our passion for one more bushel, quote, slightly embarrassing, or quote, totally cringy, Dad. They don't understand every bushel matters. We do. That's why Asgrow always read and follow green marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Today's the day the Federal Reserve is expected to hike interest rates again. Most economists believe the Reserve will hike interest rates around 0.75 of a percentage point. There are some who think the hike may be a full percentage point. It'll be the fourth rate hike this year. The Fed believes that it has to get more aggressive in order to rein in inflation, which is now running at 9.1% over the past 12 months. That resulted in rising stress levels in at least 4 out of 10 adults, as the typical household shells about an additional $500 per month just to cover high costs. The decision will be announced at 2 this afternoon. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed an executive director instructing Michigan state departments and law enforcement agencies to utilize federal resources from the recently passed bipartisan Safer Communities Act to reduce crime and gun violence. This action followed the governor held with members of the law enforcement community, parents, students, and faith leaders on how to stop violence and hold criminals accountable for committing violent crimes. This man was one of the people involved who wants to help keep communities safe and wants more help.
There's a lot of things we can do in the community if we had more partnerships and resources to adequately do them, and not just a token to say we've done something. Oftentimes in the community, we're giving a little and say, okay, do something with that, but it's not enough for a sustaining process.
As a former prosecutor, Governor Whitmer says public safety is a core issue for her. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Persha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms at times here for today with partial high into the mid 80s. Winds out of the southwest around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. Then for tonight, a slight chance for rain showers early on. Partly cloudy skies develop, a low near 63. Thursday, a slight chance for rain showers, blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high of 84 degrees. Then on Friday, sunny skies, a high around 80. Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high of 84. Then on Sunday, sunshine, we'll see high around 90. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vucic with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 70.
Now, the only local radio talk show to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show, hour number 2 here on a Wednesday. I'm going to talk about a very serious topic, and that's violence in the community. And it really doesn't matter what communities you live in, but we specifically will look at Saginaw this morning because we have a couple of guests with us. First, man who has been associated with a group called Parishioners on Patrol since he founded it a number of years ago. We say good morning to Pastor Larry Camel. Larry, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you this morning?
We're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Also with him this morning, and we say good morning to Bob DeLeon. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. Larry, a little history of Parishioners on Patrol. How did it come about?
Well, Parishioners on Patrol started in 2007 when crime peaked in Saginaw, Michigan. Amos O'Neill and myself, and he put out a plea to the community about doing something about violence and crime, and he solicited the parishioners in the community, and I responded with that, and we went in over to Pastor Barthel, E.W. Barthel's church on the south side, Bethlehem Baptist Church is how we started meeting at his church, and from the years it's just progressed from that.
And before we get into some of the details of what's happening today and everything, is it fair to say, either of you can answer this, is it fair to say that from 2007 to now, while there's still crime, obviously, crime has reduced somewhat in Saginaw? There have been less violent crimes. Would you say that's true or not?
I can say it's true from 2007 because we were up way high. We was, right. I think, number 5 on the most violent cities in the
country.
The country, right? And it has come down from that. Now I don't know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's come down from that.
Bobby, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think there has not been any changes at all to the violence that has happened in Saginaw. It was meant to be that because of law enforcement, we would keep things quiet. So I think in the long run, as you know, that between Flint and Saginaw, we were making the headlines.
Oh, for a long time.
Yes.
For a long time. Flint, Flint, I think this is just my opinion watching it. And for those that don't know, I also serve as co-chair of the Crime Prevention Council in Saginaw. Flint far exceeds us.
Yes.
In what happens down there. That's not to excuse anything that happens in Saginaw. So from where you sit, how do we address the issue? Assuming, and it's a fact, we still have violent crime in Saginaw. How do you address that issue?
I don't think there's an answer to that, Art. The idea is, again, to actually sit back and as leaders of community or people that are inclined to actually give us ways to get more involved with our community, fundings, grants, whatever. But village, it takes a village. I don't see that right now.
Where is, if you had to put that village together, Bobby, where would you start? And I have a specific reason for asking that question.
I call it the backyard, Art. I call it the backyard. There's a lot of things that people are afraid to actually venture into our backyard. And I feel very comfortable to say we are safe. But the idea that there's some things that we got to take care of.
Yeah. Pastor Camel, let me ask you this. A little history. 1998 and 9, when the Crime Prevention Council was formed, it was formed, and I was one of the founding members, and it was formed not to be a top-down organization, but rather grassroots, ground-up organization. And we formed 10 subcommittees. One of them was faith-based, and it was the first subcommittee to disappear because we couldn't get the pastors to work together. Has that changed?
Today, we have what we call American pastors. We have a group of pastors that have committed to work together to address the crime and violence. And you're right. Dilemmas was trying to get pastors and churches to work together in the community, and we just couldn't pull that together. And so we had volunteers from different sectors of the community that was affected by crime and violence. And I believe I'm passionate about it because it has affected my family and people I know. And now, Art, I'm doing services for victims, 18. I just did a 31-year-old who was murdered last week. And I'm and the community really suffers when somebody dies from murder. It affects everything. It affects the schools, the jobs. It affects the family, surrounding communities and states where people have to travel to come to the service. And then is it a resolution? No, it's not, because it's a senseless killing.
Yeah.
This person didn't have to die.
I always thought that the pulpit was an ideal place for the messaging. Did I misread that, or is that still true today? Bobby, or Pastor, go ahead.
The pulpit is the ideal place for the message, but it has to be the leader of that pulpit that has that passion to get outside of the four walls. And that's where the problem is. And like I said, lately, the Saginaw African American pastors, it was 7 of us came to our church, New Birth, and we made a plea to the community that we were going to get involved, and that crime at a point where we need to step up and bring our congregations together. So we did that, and now the next step is, how do we silence the violence? And we do have steps that we are going to take to stop the violence or silence the violence. And Bobby and I did a broadcast a couple of weeks ago, and it's running now, pleading to parents to talk to their children, and churches to talk to their congregations. And, we all have to come together that we can silence the violence.
And, you can speak from the pulpit, you can talk to people, but it really does have to start in the home, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Bobby?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. It has to start from the home. Right now, there's chaos in home with the idea of stress, mental health issues because of COVID. And again, like I said, a lot of the parents of today said, I never thought I would be here at this position, taking care of my kids every day for 24 hours every day. It got to everybody. And again, this is what we're dealing with today, mental health issues.
And then I think that the problem is, like now, we're in the summer time of the season, and kids are out of school. And what do you do with children that's at home, mom's at work, and they out in the streets and no supervision? What do you do? They're left themselves. And, if you put a bad apple in a barrel of good apples, sooner or later that bad apple is going to spoil the rest. And so I've seen young people who are raising themselves and not having any adult supervision, and their views of what is right or wrong are totally, not good.
Yeah. All right, guys, hang on. I got to take a break and we'll come back. We're talking to Pastor Larry Camel and Bobby DeLeon about Silence the Violence in Saginaw. More ahead here on the Art Lewis Show, and we'll also hear from Terry Henney at the end of this break. He's out and about in Munger at the Potato Festival.
Why can't Michigan students be the best educated in the world? Why can't the state that put the world on wheels have the best roads? Why can't Michigan be the manufacturing capital of the United States? I believe we can. My name is Tim Kelly, and as state representative, I cut through Lansing regulations every day. Now I'm running for state senate, and I'm primed to get our state back on track. Michigan has been held back by Lansing's red tape for far too long. Let's give Michigan a chance again. Paid for by Tim Kelly for state senate.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver with advanced technology and equipment. 160 million addresses across the country. We're delivering for thinkers, doers, movers, shakers, groundbreakers, future makers, innovators, trailblazers, disruptors, streamers, dreamers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at usps.com/delivering.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon in 633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher. The Federal Reserve meeting wraps up today with comments about the economy, and the Fed is expected to raise interest rates by 0.75%. Tech giants Microsoft and Alphabet, parent company of Google, both held up better than expected in the recent quarter, and Microsoft expressed optimism about the business. Boeing lost money in the quarter, but it sees progress in its turnaround. Demand for manufactured things, durable goods, 9% last month. Durable goods include everything from refrigerators to airplanes. Though the numbers are not adjusted for inflation, economists were expecting a decline. Hilton Worldwide reported a better than expected quarter. Kraft Heinz quarter was also upbeat. It's raising its forecast for the year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell Group beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
In Michigan and the Midwest, highest in the nation. Annette Glenn is running for state senate to fight for new jobs, energy independence, to cut fuel costs, cut taxes, and drug costs. Annette Glenn, fighting for us. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state senate.
Hi, everybody. This is Terry Henney, and you are going to be hearing these words for the next several days. All roads lead to Munger. The 67th annual Munger Potato Festival kicks off tomorrow and goes through Sunday right here in Munger, and that's where I'm broadcasting from today. Actually, I'm at Everbest Organics, which is just down the street from the festival grounds, and we're morning long about some of the events coming up that a lot of the family are really going to enjoy. There's different things for different parts of the family. Kicking off Thursday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, Family Fun Time amusement rides kick off, and it's a 10-day, all-day ride pass that is available. Of course, tomorrow night, we're going to be picking the Festival Queen. The beginning of 3 fun nights of Demo Derby will be held. And, of course, plenty of entertainment in the entertainment tent. We'll touch on some of those bands that are going to be performing. All a part of the Potato Festival. More coming up.
Line drive, left field. This one's deep off the bat of Cabrera. Gone! Number 506 in his career.
The Tigers play 12:50 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. I'm in my Saginaw Spirit Home studio and in our Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery studios this morning. Pastor Larry Camel from Parishioners on Patrol and Bobby DeLeon. So, guys, I have to ask, there have been over the years numerous committees, numerous groups, some still in existence, to try and find solutions to the crime problem in Saginaw and elsewhere, too. And there's always a lot of talk. So let's talk about the other side of it. What's the action? Yeah, go ahead.
Before I say anything, I do represent the Mexican American Council. I'm the president of the Mexican American Council and a spokesman for my community. I'm not a leader, but a spokesman for my community.
Oh, you're a leader too, whether you want to admit it or not, Bobby.
Take me golfing.
Oh, let's go. Seriously, though, there's been a lot of talk about, crime prevention. What's the action plan? What do you actually do that's going to reduce crime? How do you go about it?
Pastor, finished talking about the idea of unity. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bobby and I have been talking in depth and looking at the community from 2 sides, Black African American side and the Hispanic side. We're still suffering from the same problems. But while we can't unite ourselves together to address the issues of crime and violence and focus on silencing the violence and coming together and pooling the resources, we were in a meeting yesterday. We can do much more with resources and being able to provide each organization's being able to provide funding for his building and staffing and getting things moving forward. But it takes, can't just say we can stop it with just no resources.
Yeah, I have to ask this question, and you guys are ideal to answer it. With all of the talk today about inclusion, equity, and all of that, why can't we get together? Why do we have to separate ourselves at all? We shouldn't, but we do. And we would be better off if we could all sit down at the table and not look at Bobby as a Latina, not look at Pastor Camel as an African American, not look at me as a Caucasian. Just look at each other as people with the same common problems. Now, I know culturally and within communities there are differences, but in order to succeed, don't we have to do that?
The bigger the crowd, the more debates we're going to have, and that's what is going on today. Is everybody comes into the conversation and we begin a great conversation, and then the debate starts, and that by the time we know, we had nothing accomplished. So I think that we talked about that yesterday about the group that needed to be formed as a small group and then put into the community. But again, one of the downfalls, everybody has their own opinions about how to handle this issue, and again, we get nowhere.
Yeah, but isn't the goal to put all those ideas on the table and then separate the reality from the chaff, if you will, pick those good ideas and put them into action. Isn't that
That's
the
right.
ideal solution?
Yes, sir.
That is the solution.
It is.
And we can look at it from a law enforcement standpoint. Now, Chief Ruth is a part of AllPac, and I'm a co-chair for AllPac, which is the community side. We meet every 2 months, and we have people that come in from FBI, Detroit, and different places, and is an advocate for leaders for bringing community peace to the community. And we're working together on that aspect. Now we're looking at the pastors coming together, Saginaw African American pastors, to influence those congregations that we do serve. And now we're joining with the Hispanic community. Now, if we could all blend all of that together in a silence of violence campaign and do some positive things that will affect it, and then dealing with the youth in the community. We need resources for that. We need to get them off the street. We need to get them in a place where they can be mentored and talked to, and keep them from going in a life of crime and violence.
Yeah,
you know.
In the long run, again, like I said, we today in the last couple of years, we have a great relationship with our Saginaw Police Department. We have a great relationship with our Sheriff's Department. Last young kid that went to the Michigan State Police Post, and we had a great time with the idea of our young people meeting that uniform, that blue uniform, and that blue uniform meeting our backyard kids. I mean, that was a plus, and we're going to continue that relationship because we need to put everything to the side and then start focusing on how we can actually really bring our resources, convince resources that we need them.
I'm glad to hear that, because I've asked a number of police chiefs over the years, how do you, first of all, the police department, I think, has to reflect the citizens it serves.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've asked a number of chiefs over the years, how do you go into a community of distrust of police and convince those young people that they should join the police department, not distrust the police department? That's a critical issue, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Very much. And not only that, Art, but also with our Board of Education. What kind of relationship do we really have? And we have no relationship with Saginaw Board of Education. And we need to actually get more involved than ever to find out what kind of plans they have for us and what happened in Uvalde, Texas. You know, that is very important to have a relationship between our community and all these other people.
I probably have to ask this question. It's an obvious question. If there's not a relationship between the Board of Education, is that because the board hasn't come forward to you, or you haven't gone forward to the board? Because it always takes one or the other to break the ice.
And I'm going to be very honest, it's both.
Okay, it's fair. That's fair. So what's the action? What do you do? You know that today, right now, you know that there's a separation of thought from the Board of Education and your organization and Larry's organization. So the action plan would be break the ice, right?
To set aside the past, and let's talk about what we're going to be doing in the future in our community.
Well, it would seem to be an ideal time with the rebuilding of the Board of Education, with the Saginaw school system as it is, with the big bond issue and everything. This would be the ideal time to do that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, sir.
So you're going to get it done?
Of course. we talked about that yesterday. Again, there is no such thing as you and I don't get along. It's the idea is that, again, let's look at what we have lost and what we're seeing on TV. We got to put a stop to that. If not, again, who is going to put a stop into it in our backyard? We do need resources. We need to change the course by dealing with our younger people. There's no hope, and I'm going to say this with all honesty, there's no hope about what we're dealing with, the idea of probably the age of 14 on up, because they're already involved so deeply. But we to come down the ladder and get some of these younger people to support us.
Well, I would agree to a point, and that is that, yes, the under 14 group that are really still formulating who they are and their opinions need to be addressed. But I don't believe in giving up on the 14 pluses either, because I believe within that group of people, there's already a lot of young leaders that can come out of that group.
I'd say that in all respects. You're right, sir. I didn't mean to say it that way. But again, like I said, we're not leaving nobody out because every life is important.
Let me say this, and out of the passion that Bobby has for his community, but I can say Dr. Roberts is doing a wonderful job in Saginaw. And last week we rode on a bus with Allpac had a tour of the new facilities that they're building, and it is phenomenal to see what goes for Saginaw Public Schools.
Well, and I agree. I think he's doing a very good job in the school system.
Yes.
But the school system is a part of the community.
That's right.
And has to be involved in things other than just education. I think the school system has to be involved in the success of the community.
Absolutely.
And also some of our businesses that we have, our small businesses that we have in Saginaw, need to also involve themselves with us. We need them just like they need us.
Well, we could sit here all day and keep adding these groups because everybody needs to be involved. It's that simple. Everybody needs to be involved. Businesses, you name it, churches, schools, everybody's got a stake in this.
Yes.
Everybody has a stake in this because all of the positives that have come out of Saginaw are good for Saginaw and all the negatives are not.
That's right.
And we all have a stake in it, no matter where we live in the region, and we all have a responsibility to it. But listen, I can talk till I'm blue in the face. You can do the same thing, Bobby. Larry, you can do the same thing. It's convincing people to come on board and do what's right. That seems to be the hard part.
Right.
I think our biggest task right now is how do we actually understand this technology that we're dealing with today.
Hold on to that thought, Bobby. I got to take a break. You brought that up. We're going to come back to that. I promise. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back with our guests right after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
Hometown feel and big time winning. That's Saginaw Eagles Landing, the place where everyone greets you with smile after smile. In the casino, at the restaurants, or in the hotel. This is a getaway that makes you feel right at home. We've got great food and a comfy place to stay. So come on in and see what the good times are all about. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. Uma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably, so you can give your customers what they want when they need it. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, Kamala gave us her pronouns. Scott, what's yours?
Fed up and angry.
Is that a pronoun? It is now.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. Your kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. You are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Pastor Larry Camel from Parishioners on Patrol and Bobby DeLeon, who is the head of the Mexican American Council in Saginaw, talking about Silence the Violence in Saginaw. And Bobby, you touched on it. I couldn't wait. Jump all over this. You mentioned technology. Young people today, and younger than 14, walk around with these smartphones. Their thumbs do all the talking. They're not learning how to interact with each other. They're learning how to text. And social media, I think, has been one of the great disruptors of our society. How do you convince young people that there's a better way of communicating?
Art, if I had the answer to that question, I'd be rich right now.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, Art. I mean, I was just telling everybody right now that at one time it was the idea of collaborating with girls. Okay, at that time we actually knew how to read the graffiti and everything that went down in the backyard or in your little neighborhood there or whatever. But they caught on and they said we will never do this again. So now we have a new way of communicating. That's technology.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer to that, Art. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a rhetorical question. Larry, you got any ideas?
No, but we could take and turn it around for the advantage of the community with that technology. Kids are smart. They can almost do anything. We need to get them into radio, and we need to get them into television and get them involved with those types of things. That's positive,
Well, it's the messaging too. Somehow we need to get the positive message on those platforms as well as the negative messages.
Right.
And it's not easy. I mean, it's not just in violence in this city or any other city. I mean, it's in everything we do in life now. I mean, it's become the scammers platform. It's become the misinformation platform. You name it. It's just an uncontrolled beast. And it has not been for the positive, I don't think. There's good sides to it, don't get me wrong. But overall, this has been a huge negative.
Absolutely.
And I think in the long run, like I said, if we had things that we could put into our community to keep these young people busy and away from that phone, probably we'd be more successful than ever.
A lot of it, you mentioned the word resource, and it goes back to resources.
Yes,
and at
sir.
a time like this in our society, when resources are tight for everybody, it's even that much more difficult. I mean, I'm sure if I sat down with Bob Ruth, the chief of the Saginaw Police Department, and said, Bob, how many officers would you like and what would you do with them? He'd give me a number of how many more officers he'd want on the department, and probably they'd be community policing officers where they get into the neighborhoods. They know all the residents. That's their beat. The residents all know them. And that type of policing works.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and in a way, we've had to depend on groups like yours, Parishioners on Patrol, to take that over, to go into those neighborhoods and to be aware of what's going on and let people know that you're there. That's part of what you do, isn't it?
Yes. Well, now New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, it is an outreach center, and also have an outreach center at 1418 South Warren, who's open today on Wednesdays to to bless people with food and clothing and diapers. And we continuously to do that. But I'm located in the Sheraton community. And we're there and been there going on 6 years now. We just got a Dollar General store over there. And so that's a plus to making the community more stable and being able to build a community up. And I believe since we've been there, we made a change in the community. We do quite a bit right there at the church. And we therefore to help turn the community around. Right now we're doing a summer program with young at our church from 12 to 3. And they come there every day and they have lunch there, and we help them with the learning, reading, and we're very tutored about reading. Kids nowadays have an issue with learning how to read, sitting down reading a book.
Sitting down reading a book, yeah, they don't seem to have an issue with learning how to read their smartphones.
No, but reading a book and then also remembering what you read, Yeah. And you got to be able to recall the information you just digest. And then we also take them boxing to Lorenzo Reynolds boxing camp, and we also take them to the Salvation Army, and they spend time there playing basketball and things like that. So recreation is involved.
Yeah, because the issue too is that the three of us grew up understanding that and learning how to read books and do all of that good stuff. It's a different age from when we grew up. So now we have to figure out how to respond within the technology being used by these young people so we can get to them in the same way, maybe a book got to us when we were growing up. What do we have to get to them so they understand what life is about?
Yeah. And, we got a rule, no cell phones while you're in this class.
Well, that's one way of doing it, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. You can't have no cell phone. And these kids, you sit down, we got tutors that sit down with them and go over a book. And then when you get done, you got a paper to fill out. What is the author's name? What did you learn from the book?
Yeah, good.
All right. Those type of things.
Pastor, could you tell me what age you're dealing with some of the young people that say you cannot use your phones? What age are young people?
The oldest is 14, and the youngest is 6, 7.
Yeah. All right, guys, hang on. I want to do one more segment with you right after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show. We'll also hear from Terry Henney up in Munger.
In this election, look to the name you can trust for state representative, Bill G. Schuette. Working as a Defense Intelligence Agency officer, Bill G. Schuette joined the fight against terrorist and drug cartels. Now Bill G. Schuette is prepared to move mid-Michigan forward. He will fight Biden inflation and put money back in your wallet by cutting the income tax. Schuette backs the blue and will support our law enforcement. Schuette will fight to ensure parents have a seat at the table in their children's education. Voting should be honest and easy, which is why it's common sense photo ID requirements for elections. On August 2nd, vote for the conservative Republican you can trust. Bill G. Schuette.
I'm Bill G. Schuette, and this ad was paid for by Bill G. Schuette for state representative. I've briefed generals. I can stand up to Democrats in Lansing.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS. Taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We're broadcasting this morning from the Munger Potato Festival grounds, actually just next to them at Everbest Organics, where we are talking about the Potato Festival, which kicks off tomorrow and goes all the way through Sunday. We mentioned some of the activities a little bit earlier that are going to be going on Thursday. Friday, the amusement rides begin at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people are going to be coming for the big demo derby, always a big event, especially on Friday night. They have 3 nights of demo derby, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The entertainment tent tomorrow night features Todd and Pete Unplugged, the Billy Gunther Midwest Riders, and there's free admittance to the entertainment tent with a derby pass for Thursday. That's Thursday only. On Friday, it's $5 admission to get into the entertainment tent after 6 p.m. Saturday, the amusement rides kick off at noon. A big day for the kids. Kids' Day activities in the entertainment tent begin at 9:30 on Saturday. All a part of the Munger Potato Festival. Come on out.
Tudor Dixon. Working in the steel industry, she saw the results of Governor Whitmer's policies. Businesses closed, jobs lost, families moving away. Biden's policies aren't helping either. Gas prices and inflation skyrocketing. Tudor Dixon will stand strong against policies that hurt Michigan and government overreach. A businesswoman, a mother, a breast cancer survivor. Fighting for Michigan, not working for Washington. Tudor Dixon for governor.
Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate. AmericansForProsperity.org.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SDSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with our guest, Pastor Larry Campbell, and Pastor Larry Camel from Parishioners on Patrol, and also Bobby DeLeon from the Mexican American Council. All right, guys, so we have this initiative, Silence the Violence, Saginaw. Where do we go from here? What's next?
Art, one of the things that we're going to be doing, and I'll take back what I said about the 14-year-old young people, we are going to put a job fair together at the Mexican American Council. We are going to reach out to some of our young people to prepare them, what they call boot camp job fair preparation. We're gonna put these programs into our community to show these young people how to fill a resume, how to conduct themselves and get ready for an interview. So we are going to be doing that. Again, we need to get some of the young people into jobs.
Yeah. Dress for Success, too, should be a part of it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
absolutely. Larry?
Yes, sir. We now, as Parishioners on Patrol, we're getting our computer lab up and going again. It was down since COVID, but now it's time to get it up and running, to be able to connect with the Michigan Works and the My Talent Job Bank, My Talent online job searches in order to get people jobs. Now, in order to stop crime, you have to put people to work. You know, young people who don't or not having a job can now get a job, be consistent with it. Now, it's a lot of jobs out there, but the thing is, how are you prepared to get that job? Are you able to go through the interview and be successful? Are you able to present yourself in a way that employers do want to hire you? And then once you get the job, are you going to be productive and hold on to that job, change your life?
Well, listen, guys, and I'm going to go back to something you said, Bobby, where you said you're not a leader. The fact is, it takes leaders in the community to get these things done, and you are a leader. Larry, you've been one for a long time. Saginaw needs its leadership. It really needs folks like you who have an interest in the community and want to see things right, and who can get to the young people before it's too late. Don't ever quit, because the community needs you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, I thank both of you for being with us today, and I think it goes without saying we wish you the greatest success, because when you are successful, we are all successful. So keep up the good work.
Okay. Thank you, Art.
Thank you.
Yep. Bobby, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
Larry, thanks for seeing you again.
All right. You too. All right.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Pastor Larry Camel, and he is with Parishioners on Patrol, one of the founding members of that group, along with Representative Amos O'Neill back in the day. And Bobby DeLeon from the Mexican American Council. He heads up the council. We thank them for being with us. We hope that their efforts are successful, because if they are successful, we are all successful. We're going to take our last break, and then we will come back and close out the Art Lewis Show for today.
This is Rachel from the SBRC Marketplace, located at 203 South Washington, right on Riverfront, Saginaw. Sizzling summer is here. Come support the sizzling small businesses inside. Freshly baked cookies from Craven Cookies, homemade hummus from Falafel Hut, freshly smoked meats from Brigo Burger and Barbecue, and a taste of the Windy City from Divine Taste of Chicago. Create a one-of-a-kind jewelry piece from Purple Sage Bead Store, Fresh Flower Boutique from Flowers by Romans, Rocks and Gems from House of Serene, and grab a beverage and delicious food from the boardroom with the only Riverfront. Come support the sizzling small businesses Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Events are happening. Christmas in July on July 30th with story time and Christmas cookies with Santa. Take it to the streets Sunday, July 31st. Pull up, pick up, shop small. Get ready for Rides on Riverfront as we team up with Exclusive Car Club on August 28th. We thank you for the continued support of our small businesses. Remember to
shop local, eat local, support small business, and we'll see you at the market.
As golfers, we want more distance, more accuracy, more birdies, pars, and one putts. What if I told you that you can get all of that and more for less during your next golf getaway? Now with 90 holes of golf at one resort, Shanty Creek Resort is bigger and better. Discover a new golf mecca in Bel Air with all the more you need. Variety, quality, and quantity with customizable stay and play packages accommodating every group and budget. When you're ready for more, we'll be here to welcome you at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Plus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for edible arrangements in Saginaw. You are going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or just because, Edible Arrangements in Saginaw has you covered. They have smoothies, fruit salads, their dipped fruit, by the piece, cookies, and cheesecakes. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll about monkeypox. So recently, the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global public health emergency. Over 16,000 cases have been documented globally. In the U.S., about 2,800 cases confirmed or suspected, and most cases concentrated within the gay community. But the WHO and the CDC say anyone can catch it. It can be transferred by contact of any body fluids, open sores, contaminated items, even through respiratory droplets, usually in a confined space.
And how concerned are you?
Concerned? Can't, but So a poll question right now. What's your response to monkeypox? Are you very concerned and would get vaccinated if you had the chance? Are you not too concerned, but you're keeping updated in the news? Are you aware of it, but you're not paying attention? Or is it not on your radar? What do you say? You can say by voting in the WSW online poll, going to the WSW homepage, scrolling down and following the online poll box.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, my thanks to our guests, Pastor Larry Camel and Bobby DeLeon. We thank them for joining us here on the Art Lewis Show. That'll do it for today. By the way, coming up on Focus after the news, we'll be talking to Mike Stoddard from Westside Decorating Center. That will be our focus. Before that, though, news from CBS. That'll be the national international report. We'll have the local report on the region and the state. And then we will be back with Focus. That's coming up next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Zoom.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Biden has had a negative COVID-19 test, so he's ending his isolation. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
On Twitter, the president posts a picture of his negative at-home test showing just one. Back to the Oval, he writes, thanking his doctor for the good care and all Americans for their support. Mr. Biden is expected to continue wearing a mask through day 10 under CDC guidance, but the negative antigen test allows him to resume a normal schedule of activities at the White House and engage more directly with staffers.
As we hear from CBS's Allison Keyes, Brittany Griner got to tell her side of the story today in a Russian court.
That's the sound of the Olympian and WNBA star being locked inside a cell in the courtroom. Brittany Griner, taking the stand, faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted of transporting drugs. She admitted having vape canisters containing her luggage when she was arrested in February, but says she had no criminal intent. Griner has pleaded guilty to the charges, saying she was prescribed medical cannabis.
2 former Minneapolis police officers are about to be sentenced for violating George Floyd's civil rights as he was killed in 2020. Legal analyst Joe Tamburino says an order issued by the judge last week offers some insights.
What he basically said was that Mr. King and Mr. Tao made a grievous error, made basically a miscalculation of the situation when this happened with Mr. Floyd. And that's a very telling type of order, because basically what it says is that these individuals him to kill Mr. Floyd or help someone kill Mr. Floyd.
Well, former President Trump's actions leading up to the Capitol attack are now under criminal investigation by the Justice Department. Attorney General Garland told NBC News no one is above the law.
The Justice Department has from the beginning been moving urgently to learn everything we can about this period and to bring to justice everybody who's criminally responsible for interfering with the peaceful transfer of power from one administration to another, which is the fundamental element of our democracy.
Well, CBS's Jill Schlesinger is watching the Fed, which today will make its latest move in the effort to try to curb inflation. Recession.
The Federal Reserve is expected to raise short-term interest rates by 0.75 percentage point. That would match the increase at the previous meeting. By the way, that 0.75% increase was the largest hike since 1994.
The Justice Department alleges Warren Buffett's mortgage company discriminated against black home buyers in 3 states. Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is up 176 points. This is CBS News.
500,000 businesses connect using Zoom for communication and collaboration around the globe. Zoom, how the world connects.
Election. Look to the name you can trust for state representative, Bill G. Schuette. Working as a Defense Intelligence Agency officer, Bill G. Schuette joined the fight against terrorist and drug cartels. Now Bill G. Schuette is prepared to move mid-Michigan forward. He will fight Biden inflation and put money back in your wallet by cutting the income tax. Schuette backs the blue and will support our law enforcement. Schuette will fight to ensure parents have a seat at the table in their children's education. Voting should be honest and easy, which is why Bill G. Common sense photo ID requirements for elections. On August 2nd, vote for the conservative Republican you can trust, Bill G. Schuette.
I'm Bill G. Schuette, and this ad was paid for by Bill G. Schuette for state representative. I've briefed generals. I can stand up to Democrats in Lansing.
It's been popping up in orchards and vineyards all over. Any origin theories, callers?
Oh, hey, yeah, it's Sevia fungicide from BASF, a category leader in disease control.
How do you explain these healthy crops?
Well, longer-lasting residual. Plus, it's built for current regulatory standards and prepared for what's to come, which improves crop marketing for...
Fungicide that is out of this world? I knew it. Sevia fungicide from BASF. Or is it? Always read and follow link directions.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad.
I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 73 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Police in Carlton Township are asking for help locating a suspect or suspects wanted for questioning regarding a car fire. The fire was set in a vehicle around 2:40 Tuesday morning on Bauer Drive near Stinson. Police are asking if anyone saw something suspicious, like a person going through vehicles, or if surrounding homes or businesses might have surveillance footage of. Call 989-754-9244 if you have any information. An autopsy was scheduled to determine how a 32-year-old Chesaning man died. His body was found in his car parked at a closed gas station in Corunna just after 1:30 Tuesday morning. Police say there were no signs of trauma on the man's body. His name was not immediately released. Northwood University has received a $1 million gift from an anonymous donor. University officials say the donation will sponsor complimentary online public courses, help fund an existing scholarship program, and provide 5 years of financial support. Principles consistent with the Northwood idea and Northwood's code of ethics. Congressman John Moliner's office is accepting applications for congressional internships in his Washington, D.C. office for the fall. The program is open to college students and recent graduates interested in learning more about the legislative process and working in Congress. Applicants are asked to provide a cover letter, resume, and any specific legislative issues or areas of interest. Applications will be reviewed on a first-come basis. College credits are available. For more information, go to Congressman Molinar's website. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hey there, folks. I'm Jeremy, co-owner of Daylight Outfitters. We are a full-service archery pro shop specializing in customer service. Compound, crossbow, and traditional. We can service it all. We feature brands like Bear Archery, Trophy Ridge, Cajun Bow Fishing, Raven Crossbows, Prime Archery, Latitude Tree Saddles, and Darton, just to name a few. We offer a 20-yard indoor video range and 6 lanes of axe throwing. Check us out on social media or daylightoutfitters.com to learn more.
Tigers fans, see history in the making when one of the franchise's all-time greats is honored at Comerica Park.
Sweet Lou Whitaker!
Be here Saturday, August 6th for the Tigers p.m. Come early for a special pregame ceremony as Lou Whitaker's #1 is officially retired by the only franchise he's ever played for. Plus, the first 10,000 fans receive replica Lou Whitaker road jerseys courtesy of Valley Sports Detroit. Join the celebration for a true Motor City legend on Saturday, August 6th. Visit tigers.com/tickets.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A Clare County mounted deputy has a serious head injury after being thrown from her horse at the Clare County Fairgrounds. Deputy Nicole Schuff was responding to an emergency when she was thrown from the horse and taken to Midland. Sheriff John Wilson says he isn't sure how or why the horse lost control, since they go through intense training so situations like this don't happen. A mental health tragedy in West Michigan as a mom shoots her young son, then turns the gun on herself. Here's Michigan News Network's Jim Matthews.
Oceana County Sheriff Craig Mass says deputies were responding to a call Monday of shots fired at a family's home in Shelby Township, and they found a gruesome scene inside with a 10-year-old boy and his 38-year-old mother, both with gunshot wounds to the head. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene, and the son was rushed to a hospital. Yesterday, tests were performed, and he's considered deceased. The sheriff says a friend of the mother told him that the mother had been struggling with mental health issues, and they went to the house to check on her. He says that as the friend entered, gunshots rang out. Jim Matthews, Michigan News Network.
The League of Women Voters of Michigan is encouraging voters to prepare for the upcoming August 2nd primary election by visiting vote411.org. Vote 411 is a one-stop shop for election information, providing researched, valuable, and nonpartisan information about candidates and ballot questions. It's a free-to-use resource available both in English and Spanish. Vote 411 allows users to enter their address to access election information like polling locations, contents of the ballot, and their voter registration status. The website also contains absentee ballot information, election dates and key deadlines, and factual, nonpartisan information on local, state, and federal races. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1110. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms at times here for today, with partial sunshine developing and a high into the mid-80s. Winds out of the southwest around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a slight chance for rain showers early on, partly near 63. Thursday, a slight chance for rain showers, blend of clouds and sunshine, develops high of 84 degrees. Then on Friday, sunny skies, a high around 80. Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high of 84. Then on Sunday, sunshine, we'll see high around 90. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vucic with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 70.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And welcome back to another edition of Focus on WSGW. Focus is brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. And today we welcome back to the program from Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw, its owner, Mike Stoddard. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
And also with us is designer and person who can come to your home and actually help you lay out things. Sonia, we say good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, Mike, I got to start with the question I think I've asked every time. How's the construction going?
I'd say it's 95% complete. Plays over to our new renovated side of the showroom, and it's looking, like I say, better every day.
For those of you that don't know, you're actually, just about doubling the size of the store, aren't you?
Yeah, about doubling, giving us more warehouse space to supply our products. Obviously, with raw material shortages, we're staying stocked up on everything, so it gives us more room for that. Also, a brand new addition to our showroom as well.
That's an interesting comment about shortages. Has that impacted the paint industry?
It has a lot. There's a lot of products that are still hard to find, and buy in bulk, and so we make sure we don't run out. But yeah, still affecting things. Even though I think everybody by this time had hoped everything would be better, still having some issues, but nothing affecting business locally here.
Sonia, how about shortages in flooring and carpeting and window coverings, the like?
Not really shortages, maybe some extended lead times, but pretty close to back to normal, actually. We're still just about 3 to 4 weeks for window treatments, which is great.
Yeah, that is fairly normal, isn't it? That's what it was before.
Yeah.
All right. So the other question I always ask Mike is, what's new in paint and wallpaper and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So this time of year, obviously everyone's looking at their deck, their siding, their fence, exterior surfaces they need coated. So one product that we're selling quite a bit of that's super easy to use is called Ready Seal. It's a semi-transparent stain, mostly for decks, siding, and like sheds, fences, things like that. Super easy to use. They call it goof proof, which is kind of nice. You can't mess it up. It comes in about 7 different colors and a clear. So that's great success so far with that.
Let me ask about that in terms of decking. If you have a deck that uses that special lumber that's greenish in color, the treated lumber, how long before you can actually put something on that? And do you need to put a coating on it?
Yeah, so you definitely, like you said, you want to let that coating weather out. That's a pressure treating that's in there to keep the wood looking nice until you get it installed. And that just depends on the weather that we have and how long ago you purchased it and all those good things. But there's a couple ways to check to make sure that it's good to go. One is to check the moisture content of the wood.
How do I do that?
Anything that's too wet. They actually make moisture meters, which are you usually want to make sure your moisture content of wood is less than 15% before you do any coating. And obviously, if that pressure treating's in there, it's going to be much higher than that. We used to say let it weather a season. So if you installed it this year, you'd wait till next year to do any staining. That has shortened up a little bit. I'm not sure if it's because of a different chemical or just a different process, but it's down to sometimes just a couple months now. So you normally do want to get your wood coated soon after you're able to, because if you don't, the wood will start to gray. It's almost like a sunburn that'll get. So you'll have dead wood fiber stained later, but sometimes it's easier to do the staining before that happens.
If I'm going to use a colored stain, it doesn't make any difference then?
Yeah, so that dead wood fiber needs to will adhere to that, and it won't last very long if you coat over that. So we have a wood brightener that will take that right off, whether you're doing a semi or a solid coating.
Just an extra step.
Yeah, one extra prep step, but it's kind of a cleaner too. So it's a good all-purpose cleaner, brightener, and get everything ready to go for your stain project.
And Sonia, this time of the year, when as Mike said, people are thinking outdoors. What are you doing indoors?
Well, added quite a few new products to our showroom, getting ready for the new edition. So we're starting to see people kind of thinking back about either thinking about the holidays or now that kids are about to be back in school, we're starting to do some more window treatments and flooring. And of course, there's just so much new right now.
All right, hang on. We're going to take a break. Come back. We're talking to Sonia and Mike at Westside Decorating Center, State at Waunakee in Saginaw. And we will return with them after these notes. We'll also hear from Terry Henney.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben 596751.
Expand your outdoor living space with 11% off landscape blocks from Menards. Get a free estimate instantly with our Design and Buy landscaping program. From patios and walkways to fire pits and retaining walls, you can create the landscape of your dreams. Visit a Menards store near you or menards.com to get started today. All concrete landscape and patio blocks are 11% off now through July 31st. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably so you can give your customers what they want. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, large scale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
This is what camping sounds like when you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP. And this is what camping sounds like when you have Inspire and don't need a CPAP. If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, Inspire could work for you. Inspire works in breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Coming weekend, actually starting tomorrow and going through Sunday, all roads lead to the 67th annual Munger Potato Festival. I'm Terry Henney, broadcasting from Everbest Organics this morning, one of the major sponsors of the Munger Potato Festival, and they invite each and every one of you to come on out. The entertainment tent has got bands galore. Todd and Pete Unplugged tomorrow night, along with Midwest Riders. On Friday night, Andrew Braun, the Family Tradition Band, previewed by Waylon Hennell. All of that activity in the entertainment tent. Incidentally, the tent, free admittance to the tent with a derby pass on Thursday only. It's only $5 to get into the entertainment tent on Friday as well as on Saturday. And there's free admittance to the grounds, free parking. So you're not spending a whole lot of money to get in here. You're going to have a lot of fun. Fun is guaranteed. The other thing is Sunday, the big chicken barbecue in the food tent. That starts at 11 o'clock. Bay City Central Athletics, and then the big Munger Potato Festival parade, followed by the Kowalski Brothers Polka Band and Andrew Braun in the entertainment tent. All a part of the 67th annual Munger Potato Festival. Come on out and see us.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you on Focus, talking to Mike and Sonia from Westside Decorating Center at State and Weineke in Saginaw, where their showroom is greatly expanded and will be probably have a grand opening when? September, maybe, Mike?
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll have you out here doing a live broadcast, hopefully, to kick it off.
Oh, that's a good plan. Sonia, has there been a resurgence in wallpaper? It seems to be cyclical.
We have skipped a little generation, and so we're seeing people in here that remember being in here with their moms or their grandmas, and it's really cool to see that because, of course, I've been here for 22 years. I've been able to work with both sets of families, but it's nice to see that people are doing it again with bedrooms and kitchens, and of course, all the new patterns are just so different from how they were with the more design oriented and more fashion forward. So lots of new geometric patterns, and it's just a really cool time for wallpaper right now.
Is it something a do-it-yourselfer can do for themselves?
Absolutely. If I can do it, anybody can do it, and I'm happy to talk anybody through it. Absolutely. If you've got a large area, we have excellent wallpaper installers that we can recommend. But it is definitely something that's doable because we're not doing like what we used to. We're not doing ceilings necessarily and 3 different patterns on one wall. It's much more simplified. So it can be done by just an app.
Yeah. Mike, let's talk about tools for a moment, because obviously the tool makes the job. And that is also true in painting, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we always tell people, don't skimp out on the good brush, the good roller, the good prep work that's done before the paint project. Because like you said, a better brush, better roller, they apply the paint better. They'll make everything look better when you get done. They're easier to use in most cases. Like our best brushes are going to hold more paint, which means less dipping into the can and more applying. They also have finer bristles, which means you get done. And same goes for rollers. The good rollers, don't shed. They don't leave any lint on the wall. And they also hold more paint. So more painting and less dipping, which is always good.
At what point do you decide that you really want to rent or buy a paint sprayer? What are the uses for it, and what shouldn't you use it for?
Yeah, so the 2 biggest uses, I would say, if somebody had a big open space, a garage, a basement, or maybe a new house where they were going to go paint every room, paint sprayers work great because you can go through, get done really quick, minimal prep work when it's a big open space as opposed to a lived-in house. We see for smaller sprayers might be kitchen cabinets or doors. If you want a really smooth finish, the best application is spray. So I would definitely say we sell smaller spray units for doors, cabinets, trim work, things like that are going to be installed later. I wouldn't use, a sprayer to paint like one room. It's kind of overkill. A lot of prep work needs to be done to prevent overspray. You also waste a little bit more paint when you do spraying because you're usually running it through the air hose line. And there's a little bit more cleanup that needs to be done. So it's quicker to paint with brush and roller for one room, but big projects, a sprayer is great.
And let's talk a little bit about what you stock in cleanup products, because cleanup is a big part of painting, isn't it?
It is, yeah, especially the prep work beforehand. Trisodium phosphate has always been a great cleaner. We have that in a no-rinse formula, so they've taken the phosphate out of the product, so you can use TSP from anywhere on your kitchen cabinets to your flooring to your outside deck or your siding to clean before you paint. It's a no-rinse, which is nice, can be run through a pressure washer. But we also have specialty cleaners that are deglossers that work great if you're doing your kitchen cabinets. It's always good to degloss. You can either sand or use our liquid deglossers. So we have a large variety of cleaners, to handle pretty much every project.
All right, let's talk about getting information about Westside Decorating. Start with the website.
Sure, website's westsidedecoratingcenter.com.
Sonia, if they want a decorator to come to their home and offer some help, what do they need to do?
You can schedule an appointment on our website at 989-793-6182, and we've got 4 designers here that can help.
And Mike, what kind of hours are you keeping and your address?
Sure. So during the week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. On Saturdays, we're open from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And address is 5789 State Street, Saginaw Township, right near Weineke.
All right, my friends. We'll talk to you again down the road. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Art.
You bet.
Thank you, Art.
You bet, Sonia. Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Bye-bye now. Mike and Sonia from Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street, right there at Weineke. And a great place. If you've not been in there, stop and see the new expansion because it's doubled in size. It's huge. Absolutely huge. We will be back to close out. No market report today. All the folks from Baird & Company are off on a company retreat, and they will be back. We'll talk to them on Friday, but we will take a break and come back and move over for the farm show.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the